Helen and Sonny can hear one of them leave out the front door while the other rummages through the apartment. They hear their purses unzipping, all their shit's just being rifled through. Obviously, they're getting robbed. Then all of a sudden, they breathe a sigh of relief when they hear police.
Yes. Hey, friends.
Hey, everyone. How are ya? How the hell are ya?
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Rachel.
Rachel's telling her story today.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here. Y'all, okay, I'm going to tell y'all the story. Obviously, I'll get through the case, the trial, everything. Then I accidentally went down a rabbit hole over something that is going to infuriate you.
Oh, God.
I didn't mean to. I might have to do a bonus episode on this. It's crazy. But I don't know if I could get through it because I'll be irate. So anyway.
A day ruiner.
Uh-huh. Happy
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Rach, we
Look
said
at
that
us.
at the same exact time.
Crazy, man. Okay, here I go. I'm telling you about Sunny Han. Do you know her?
No.
Okay.
H-A-H-N?
H-A-N.
Oh, okay.
On November 6, 1996, 22-year-old, sources, LA Times, a very detailed Medium article by a journalist named Jana Meisenholder. You know how Medium will give you like a 3-minute read estimate, 5-minute read, 26-minute read.
Oh.
Jana, girl, thank you.
You did your homework and Rachel's homework.
Thank you. Interviews, she rocked it. So very helpful. I also watched the trial on Court TV's YouTube, forward.com, and BBC.
Are we in the UK today?
Nope. On November 6, 1996, 22-year-old Helen Kim was playing Nintendo in her Irvine, California apartment when there was a knock on the door. She opened it, and it was two young guys selling magazines. They asked if she wanted to buy any. She said, no, thanks. And as she's closing the door, the two guys barge in. One of them has a gun, and they force her to the floor. As they're tying her hands behind her back with twine, she's begging them not to hurt her. She says to take whatever you want. They scream at her to shut up, and then they put duct tape over her mouth. Unbeknownst to the intruders, Helen wasn't home alone. Her roommate, Sunny Han, had just gotten out of the shower and heard the commotion going on outside. She immediately locked the bathroom door and is panicking.
Oh.
She can hear Helen begging for her life, and she's like, holy shit, what do I do?
Yeah.
She looks down and sees that she had her cell phone with her. She'd taken it into the bathroom. Thank God.
I always take my cell phone in the bathroom.
In 1996, though?
Oh, no, not in 96. I would not.
You got that Zach Morris phone. You got to lug it in there. Your roommate probably helped you bring it in there.
Yeah, your back hurts from bringing it in there. My God.
So this was,
wow.
Thank God she had it.
You know what I also think about? If I don't have my cell phone in the bathroom, if I was in such a situation, I lock the door and just pretend. And like, yes, he's outside right now, you know.
Oh, I think you've told me that one.
Yeah, make it sound like I'm on the phone with the cops.
I don't know about that, especially in this sitch.
Oh.
Well, because
you don't like lying?
It's just not right. My moral's not there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just a bathroom door so easy to break into.
Yeah, but what's the harm? Okay. Well,
anyway.
You do you and I'll do me.
Okay. We'll see who survives.
Mm-hmm.
So she has her cell phone. She calls 911 and in a whisper, and you can hear, it's online. You can hear how scared she is.
Yeah.
She tells the dispatcher that two men broke into her apartment and it sounded like her roommate was being raped. She tells them to hurry to the San Marco apartment complex. And right as she gets the address out, the bathroom door busts open.
Shut up.
Sunny quickly hangs up, and the intruder looks at her cell phone in her hand and points the gun at her and says, did you just call 911? And she says, no, I was on the phone with a friend. So he grabs her, ties her up, duct tapes her mouth, and throws her on her bedroom floor. As they're tying Sunny up, Helen, the roommate, managed to free herself from her ties and darts towards the front door, trying to escape. But one of the men caught her before she could make it, so he bound her even tighter and threatened to shoot her if she tried anything like that again.
Jeez.
The guys then move Sunny and Helen into the bathroom and make them sit in the bathtub, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
What's next if you're in the bathtub? I'm thinking an easy cleanup.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking.
But no, they leave them in there. They close the bathroom door, walk out. Helen and Sonny can hear one of them leave out the front door while the other rummages through the apartment. They hear their purses unzipping, all their shit's just being rifled through. Obviously, they're getting robbed.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, they breathe a sigh of relief when they hear police.
Yes.
So pause here. We're going to come back to it later. Police have arrived, though.
Hell yeah.
Helen Kim and Sunny Han lived with two other girls named Angie Wu and Shelley Herr in this apartment near UC Irvine campus. Irvine is predominantly Asian, making up 44% of the population. Helen, Sunny, Angie, and Shelley were all Korean Americans who met, I think, attending college.
Okay.
I know at least Angie and Shelley were at class during this time.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how they met, but so they're all living together in Irvine. 22-year-old Sunny was described as quiet, kind of closed off, but after hearing about her childhood, it is not surprising.
Oh, God.
She was born in Korea on April 30th, 1974, to a 26-year-old single mom named Boo Kim.
Okay.
Boo Kim and the roommate Helen Kim are not related. So let's get that out of the head.
Okay. It wasn't in my head.
Okay. Okay. It was when I first read about it. So no.
Well, I'm sure because those names are fresh, but they're not fresh to me. So you go on.
Very common last name. All right. Sunny was an only child, so she thought, until she was 3 years old when she found out that she had a sister, not only a sister, an identical twin sister named Gina.
Oh.
Their mom, Boo, really struggled financially. And when they turned out to be twins, she just could not do it. So she sent Gina to be raised by family members. Some sources said Gina lived with their dad. Another said it was Boo Kim's dad. So their grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Either way, with this arrangement, the twins had no contact. They didn't even know the other existed until they were 3 years old when Boo Kim had Gina move back in.
Oh my God. That is so heartbreaking.
I know.
So they don't talk. If you sent the twin Gina to live with your father, so I guess you just never see your father. You never see your family members. Okay.
No, that's why I kind of think it must have been with their biological dad because they split up.
Right. That would make more sense.
That would make more sense. But LA Times said maternal grandfather. And I was like, really? I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Either way, no. So they had zero contact. But when they were 3, Boo Kim said, all right, Gina, move back in.
Okay.
I'm sure shocked and confused by it, but they were amped. From the jump, they had an intense bond. They were inseparable. They were so fucking cute. There's a picture of them. I cannot. Their upbringing, though, was very chaotic. Their mom, Boo Kim, was in and out of relationships. They moved around a lot. She eventually remarried the man known to them as their biological father. But when that marriage didn't work out, years later, they found out that he, in fact, was not their dad.
Oh, God.
Boo Kim would later say they know nothing about their biological dad, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because they thought this guy was their dad for years.
The biological dad probably doesn't know that he had twins.
I don't know.
That she had twins. I don't know.
Yeah. So home life was obviously described as unstable and erratic. In 1986, when they were 12 years old, Boo Kim sought a better life in the United States. So she moved to Orange County, California, leaving the twins with relatives in Seattle for a year. Can you imagine?
I was about to give her a little praise and be like, okay, good for Boo Kim.
No, we do not give Boo Kim praise. They are 12 years old. You move to a new country, don't speak the language, and you have to live with people you probably have never met before in your life. Like, you wouldn't be able to not have a twin and do that. You'd have to. I mean,
oh, God.
Can you imagine? One of them was by themselves? No.
No, I can't. I am from the United States and I couldn't go through life without a twin. I don't know how you people do it out there.
I mean,
you're very independent.
Good for y'all.
Good for y'all.
Bravo.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
That is awful. Why did she do that? You're only a state away. You're right there. Why are we doing this?
Oh my gosh. Only a state away, yet so far away.
But to travel that far across the world and then to move one state away from your twin, what are you doing?
But like,
boo, 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 boo.
Yeah, we're going to boo Kim a lot. I mean, one state meaning all of California, all of Oregon, and a bunch of Washington. So yeah.
It's far. No,
anyway.
absolutely. I know. But Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. After burning the shit out of these relatives, by the way, uh,
Right.
I'm not here to raise twins
Oh God, especially preteen twins. My God.
who don't speak the language. So now this family is
Uh-huh.
left with here 2 children,
Mhm.
and you've gotta teach them a very hard language.
The hardest language, yeah.
See you in a year. So after a year, these 2 now 13-year-olds finally moved down to Orange County to live with their mom. In Orange County, Bucum worked as a cocktail waitress, so money was still pretty tight.
I assume that's why she did that to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably to save money realistically. Um, but I think they were even evicted at one point. It was again very unstable. So to try to make ends meet, Bucum took up gambling. And
Mm.
it didn't take long for it to be a full-blown addiction, and she was terrible at it, as you can imagine. This would have been a success story
Yeah.
if I had said she rocked it, but
Mhm.
no.
Mhm.
Usually when you are introduced to gambling and you gamble every penny you earn away,
That's when you give up,
it's
right?
yeah.
I guess
So,
gambling's not for me, but she just kept on going.
no, she really no, she stayed persistent with it,
She
unfortunately.
persevered.
She persevered,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So she would leave for days at a time, just hitting up casinos and going on what LA Times called gambling binges. By this point, the twins are in 7th grade, and after one of these days-long gambling sprees, Buchem came back to find that they had been placed in a children's home. I don't know if a teacher called, I don't know what happened there. She got them back, but arranged for them to move in with relatives in Campo, California, which is like 50 to 60 miles east of San Diego. The twins were amped on this. I think it was
Oh,
actually their idea.
oh, okay.
They were sick of their mom's nonsense, and these relatives named Sonia and Jim Norris were happy to take them in. Sonia and Jim had 2 other kids, and I think they were all kind of similar ages.
Mhm.
After the move, they didn't see their mom for 5 years. She lives, an hour or 2, I think, from them, somewhere in Orange County. I mean, n
That's the least shocking thing you've said so far.
God,
Yeah.
not she barely, called to check in on them. She would every once in a while, but, like, not really. They did not see her face for 5 years.
From what I know of Buchem, that
Mhm.
yeah, sounds on brand.
Right. Gina would later say that Buchem threw them away, which makes me sad.
Oh,
I know.
no.
I
I hate
know.
that.
I hate it. It's fine though. Good riddance, Boo, because they thrived living with Sonia and Jim, especially academically. They made straight A's. They were top
Oh,
5% of their class. By
okay.
senior year, I know things were looking up for sure.
Mhm.
By senior year, Sonny started dating someone who Sonia did not approve of.
Mm.
There was a lot of, just sidebar, a lot of talk about her possibly being involved with or her boyfriend being involved with Asian gangs, which are very prominent around here. I don't know if this is that guy, if it's someone else, she just has,
Oh,
bad
okay.
taste. I don't know. Um, I didn't get details as to what exactly Sonya didn't like, but she did not like this.
Okay.
She wanted her to break up with them, but Sonny said, Nope." And they had a huge falling out. So Sonny ended up moving out and living with her boyfriend and his family for like the second half of senior year.
Mhm.
After the falling out, the Norrises told Gina that she was not allowed to see Sonny outside of school. And Gina was
Oh,
like, yeah, right.
right.
And would frequently sneak Korean food over to Sonny. So she would
Oh,
sneak out and bring her food. So even though Sonny didn't live there anymore, they stayed close and effing smart because when they graduated in 1993, they were co-valedictorians
wow.
together.
That's awesome.
I know. They
Yeah.
really thrived.
Yeah. Well, they had to grow up very quickly.
Yeah, and
And
adapt very quickly, obviously.
yeah. Wow.
After graduation, Gina joined the Air Force and moved to Texas, and Sunny went to Laverne University, but she didn't finish. And by the time she moved to Irvine, she was working full-time as a receptionist.
Okay.
And that's where we started the story. So she's working as a receptionist, 1996.
Okay.
So Sunny's at home with one of her roommates, Helen, and the other 2 roommates are at class. 2
Mhm.
dudes bust in, tie him up. One of the guys was robbing them. Police show up. We're
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
When police pulled into the apartment complex, they saw 2 people sitting in a car. So while some of the police went to Sunny's apartment, another hung back to ask these people if they saw anything, which they said, no, we didn't. Why? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. The police officer said, don't worry about it, and advised that they either stay in the car for safety or leave. Little did he know the driver of the car who they were talking to had just escaped jail and was the mastermind behind this entire thing.
Oh, shit.
The police officer went to assist the others in Sonny and Helen's apartment, and the car immediately left, leaving the other dipshit behind. Every man for themselves. We got to get the hell out of here.
Let's go.
So after they hear police being yelled from outside the apartment, the guy that just got ditched frantically runs into the bathroom, unties Sonny and Helen's bindings, rips the tape off their mouths, and begged them to tell the cops it was all a joke.
Fuck off. What?
Sure thing, bruh.
Yeah,
sure
we
thing,
got
bruh.
you. And
yeah, not a problem. He throws the gun into a laundry hamper and goes to run out the front door, but not sure what the plan was because there are 4 cops standing there with guns drawn.
Oh, this guy was the weakest link.
Where do you think they were when they yelled police?
Right. Oh, this guy is a dipshit.
Oh, God, you have no idea. He slams the door closed
Oh.
and tries to run out the back, but a cop's back there and tackles them. There's like a patio. They are on the first floor, but I'm like, really?
Right.
They tackle him before he could make it. The cop picks him up and walks him out the front door, and he says, the guy now in custody says, what are you going to do if I run? Are you going to shoot me? Then he loosens out of their grip and runs back into the apartment and closes the door.
What is happening?
What is the plan?
We will shoot you.
Yes. They don't. They did not shoot him, but
I know.
They did tackle him again, and this time cuffed him and immediately took him to jail.
God.
With this guy.
This guy is a flight risk, and he cannot get far at all.
No.
He doesn't know where to go.
He has no idea where to go. He's trapped, but he thinks if he just runs in and slams the door, then it'll all go away.
Like most problems.
Like a lot of problems do, though. They searched him and found a bunch of stuff he stole from Helen, Sonny, and their roommates, a pager, money, condoms, other knickknacks, if you will. They get Sonny and Helen from the bathtub, and they're obviously traumatized. Duct tape is hanging off their hair. They're crying, shaking. It's terrible. They find that the gun the guy threw in the hamper was loaded and the safety was off.
Oh, shit.
Making it clear that the motive was not just robbery. They interrupted a planned murder.
Well, I don't know if this guy even knew the safety was off. This guy doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing at all.
No, he
just got handed a gun.
Right.
He doesn't know.
Right. They also collect pieces of twine and duct tape from their bindings, and they take the magazines that the 2 guys used as a ruse to try to get fingerprints off of it to get the second intruder who is now fled.
Yeah.
They also talked to people in the leasing office of the apartment complex to see if they saw anything, and one of them told police that about an hour before police showed up, Sonny came in asking for an extra key because she lost hers. Her name was not on the lease, so they said, no, we can't do that. But when police asked Sonny about when she lost her key, she's very confused and says, I didn't lose my key. And the cops say, you didn't go into the leasing office today? And she says, no.
Oh, my God.
What did Gina do?
Goosebumps.
Oh, good.
Okay. What did Gina do?
Now pieces are starting to come together, and the responding officer who spoke to the people in the car realized that the driver did look exactly like Sonny.
Oh,
he was like,
no.
You called the cops? I was just talking to you out there. He's very confused. So they're like, oh, shit, your twin sister's behind this. And she's like, she knew it kind of, but she's also shocked because she says, wait, she's in jail right now.
No.
And they say, no. We just got a call from San Diego County Jail, and she never returned from her work furlough. And another inmate told them that she had been openly talking about how she wanted to kill her twin sister. So San Diego County Police called Irvine Police being like, warning, this bitch didn't show up back up to the jail, and she's been flapping her gums about how she wants to kill her twin and assume her identity. And that's how they figured out that this bitch is behind the whole thing.
No. Y'all are so close. Y'all are in this together.
Oh, we're going to get into them.
Wait, did you say that it was a woman driving?
I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. I just envisioned it was a man. I don't know.
I know, good. I just wanted to keep y'all thrown.
Yeah. Wow. Why was she in jail the first time?
Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
I'm sure
get into it.
That's right.
they turn to the one guy they had in custody, and it doesn't take long for him to break because he's 16 years old. His name's Archie Bryant. You probably thought he was younger.
He sounded 16. He sounded 16.
He sounded 4. He told police that Gina offered to pay him and his best friend, 15-year-old Jonathan Sayrath, who goes by Yoshi, to kill Sonny so she could assume her identity, taking on her money and her better credit score.
Dude, what?
This proves...
Sorry.
I know.
What do you think's going to happen when there's a murder of a very well-rounded, very smart UC Irvine student? Like, it's not going to go unsolved.
They both have their issues.
Okay.
And she, by the way, Sonny's not at school at UC Irvine. She had dropped out by this point, she never even went to UC Irvine. She was at a, smaller college, community college. Anyway,
what up?
They both have their issues, and we'll get it. But no, I don't she was just going to assume her identity. This proves to be true when less than an hour after the home invasion, someone withdrew $5,000 from Sonny's bank account and used her license to try to buy a new car. She was just going to be Sonny. She's Sonny now.
But like, she left witnesses. Like, she has 3 roommates.
Sonny does. I know. I'm like, no one's going to notice that Sonny was actually murdered, and now Sonny showed up, and everyone's going to say, that was weird.
That was crazy that day, huh?
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. No, I do know what the plan was, and it's
hilarious.
No, it's so bad.
Batshit.
This is what happens when you recruit children for shit like this, because it's bad. I'll just tell you, actually, why not? They thought when Helen Kim opened the door, they thought it was Sonny.
So they were going to kill the wrong person anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
She said they watched the 2 roommates leave, and I don't know if assumed that Helen Kim was also gone. They said she sent the guys up there and said, pretend you're selling magazines, walk away, come back to the car and tell me if she's home alone. So they did. So at first she actually said no, close the door. And they walk back down. They're like, yeah, she's alone. And she's like, and it's my twin. She looks like me. And they're like, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm like, wow, you are idiots.
Wow. This is the sloppiest plan.
It's terrible.
Wow.
And honestly, sorry, but a little racist.
Yeah, it is.
Helen opened the door and you assumed it was Sonny. And Gina asked him, did she look like me? And they're like, yeah.
Oh
my good God.
Wow.
Later that night, they find Yoshi and Gina at an Alamo car rental company in San Diego trying to rent a car or return the one they brought there. It was mixed, whatever. Trying to make a transaction of some sort. Then likely flee to Mexico. They were very close to the border.
Yeah.
Gina had $4,000 in cash with her. She had Sonny's driver's license and her credit cards. She also had sales receipts showing that she bought gloves, twine, tape, the magazines they used, pine salt, and garbage bags. I mean,
she's a dipshit too.
Very busted. And there was a shell casing in her car from the from the gun that they found at the scene.
What happened to their bond?
Oh, okay. We are going to get there.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I wrote out, where did it all go wrong?
Hey. Look.
So they grew up closer than ever. Co-valedictorians, the whole thing. However, when they fought, they were vicious. They'd throw things at each other, destroy each other's stuff, cut each other's clothes up, which I'm like, didn't y'all share? What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
I'm wearing Rebecca's shirt right now.
Right.
At one point, when they were young, Sonny stabbed Gina in the leg to exert dominance. She was 5 minutes older. I know. And I said, no one says what she stabbed her with. I'm like, surely not a knife. I picture a pencil because Rebecca stabbed me with a pencil in the leg. It's still in there. The lead is in there in my leg. And I guess that was to exert her dominance because she's a minute older. And I think that's why I still have lead in my calf.
It was to remind you that you're the weaker one.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
I'll have to do it again then.
This time, pencil be damned. Things between them went south real fast when they transitioned into adulthood. So let's go back to right after they graduated high school. Like I said, Gina joined the Air Force and moved to Texas. After only a month, she realized it wasn't for her, but she was locked in for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
In hopes of getting discharged early, she told them that she was a lesbian, which
Oh,
this is
what?
the early 90s, so it was don't ask, don't tell era, which
Oh,
she's not. It was a complete lie. She schemed it up.
yeah.
And after she was discharged, they did
Oh
discharge
my
her.
God.
Well, they also found out that she was lying about it. So she actually thought she was going to go to jail and called like the Norrises, the people who essentially raised her, or one of their family friends, like freaking out that she was going to go to jail now. And they grabbed the phone from her and said, "We're not putting her in jail. We're trying to get her to calm down. She is dismissed. We like want nothing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
She doesn't have. We don't want her here.
Right, right.
All good."
Ooh, but that scared of jail? Whoa. You're gonna get what's coming to you, Gina.
So she was discharged. She moved back to Southern California in the San Diego area and waited tables, eventually enrolling in classes to become a blackjack dealer. She got a job at a nearby casino, and
Uh-oh.
soon it led her to a very similar path of her mom, Boo Kim.
Yeah.
She was deep in gambling. She lost thousands and thousands of dollars, and to cope with
Oh,
her spiraling finances, she turned to alcohol.
this is tragic.
I know.
A real bummer.
Uh-huh. Wait till the end. In January 1996, she attempted suicide, and it was obviously unsuccessful. And 4 months later, she was arrested after she stole $10,000 from the Norrises, the relatives
Oh,
that
come
took her
on.
in. They
Oh.
pressed charges, and she was sentenced to 10 days in jail and 3 years probation.
Mm.
When she got out of jail, she moved in with Sonny in a different apartment, not in Irvine.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, their insane fighting started back up. Sonny was working as a receptionist and had leased a new BMW, and Gina was very envious of it. So obviously, without Sonny's permission, one day she just up and took the BMW and was gone for like 2 days. Sonny had no idea where she was. When she got back, there was a huge fight, and neighbors
Mhm.
called the cops, something they had to do several times before. The cops got there, and Gina had a bloody nose, to which Sonny was like, "Yeah, I hit her in the face. I can't remember if it was with my fist or my phone, but yeah, got her. Her
Mm.
nose was broken."
Wow.
The cops were like, "All right, chill," and did a little background check and realized there was actually a warrant for Sonny's arrest,
Oh, what?
unrelated to this assault. Apparently, she had stolen a friend's credit card and bought $1,300 worth of clothes. And she told them that the friend was rich, so she didn't think she'd care. And they were like, "Well, she did care because she pressed charges."
Uh,
So now Sonny was arrested and had to spend a few days in jail.
wow. Well, these girls were, they only know survival mode
Yeah.
at this
Well,
point. They
a
are,
lot of the neighbors, after they moved to Campo, California with the Norrises, some of the neighbors were like, they were so smart, but they could not cope with shit. They were screaming at each other like they couldn't, it was very clear.
yeah. God, this is sad.
I know, it's really sad. When she got out of jail, when Sonny got out of jail, she realized that her wallet and her BMW were both gone and money was withdrawn from her bank account. So gets out of jail and immediately calls the cops and was like, "No need to investigate. It was my nightmare of a sister."
Oh, God.
Police are like, "You two are fucking exhausting.
Right.
I've had it."
Yeah.
So now Gina was arrested.
Oh, my God.
One gets out, another goes in. Exhausting.
Yeah.
Since Gina was on probation for stealing from the Norrises, she's in extra trouble.
Yeah.
And she was sentenced to 6 months in jail, but she got a work furlough, which allowed her to leave for 5 hours every day.
What?
In early November 1996, Gina left the jail for work and never came back.
Mm-hmm.
She had a friend pick her up, and they went to an apartment where she hides out. I think it was like an unofficial halfway house. It seems very sketchy. It's run by two women in a dangerous part of Southern California. I can't remember the town name, very close to the border. Other people were staying there. It seems very sketchy. This is where she meets 16-year-old Archie Bryant and 15-year-old Jonathan Sayrath, aka Yoshi.
Oh.
Archie and Yoshi were best friends with horrible childhoods, horrible parents, which is why they're living in this sketchy ass place.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days after she fled jail, Gina called Sonny and told her that she wanted to come pick up some of her stuff that she left at her apartment. It was like her clothes, her driver's license, a tax refund check or something. But Sonny essentially said, "Fuck off. I threw it all out. Don't call me again. I never want to see you again." And this sent Gina over the edge.
This isn't as funny as I thought it'd be.
No, I never said it would be.
I know. Well, when you had the Three Stooges at the beginning trying to
That
rob
was
this place, I thought this was going to be a dipshittery story, but this is
well, that
a
part was.
bummer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That part was.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lighthearted part of this. At one point, Archie showed Gina a scar on his foot from when he accidentally shot himself, which should come to no surprise to any of y'all.
Oh my God.
And Gina immediately thinks, he has access to guns and got an idea.
He's a good shot.
Oh, he he has access to them. Does not mean he knows shit, clearly.
God.
But this gave her an idea. Archie hooked her up with a gun for protection, as she told him. And on November 6, 1996, Gina asked her newfound teenage friends, Archie and Yoshi, to take the hour drive with her up to Irvine. They were like, sure.
Oof.
On the way, they stopped by Ralph's grocery store and bought duct tape, twine, gloves, and a potato.
Silencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They drove out to this is why there was a shell in her car. They drove out to a remote marsh, and Gina told Archie, try putting the potato over the gun and firing. He did it, and when she saw that it muffled the sound, she drove towards the San Marco apartments, which I've heard of people doing that before, using a potato as a silencer. I've always understood it to not work.
Right.
Just makes a big mess, is what I understand. She's
a big explosion of mashed potatoes.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I guess in this case it worked. She was satisfied with the sound it projected. So with this,
it didn't work. She's just a dipshit.
I know. With this, they drive to the San Marco apartment complex. Yoshi and Archie apparently asked what they were doing, and Gina told them that she needed to get her stuff from her sister's apartment, and she would pay them $100 if they forced their way in and get it. On the way, they stopped to get the stack of magazines because she told them, like, pretend you're selling magazines, barge in on her.
Mm-hmm.
They pull up to the apartment, and Gina warns them that Sonny's boyfriend was in an Asian gang, so they better take the gun with them just in case. And Archie and Yoshi are like, I'm good. No way. Thank you. Then Gina upped the ante and said, will you kill her? And they're like, we just said no to barging in with a gun. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck would we agree to that? And I have to say, I'm very unsure how this part went down. I think everyone's lying. This exchange makes no sense.
Right.
I do not understand.
Is this what came out in the trial?
This is what Archie says.
Oh, okay. That's what Archie said. Okay.
So he says, after this, Gina started getting very pissed. And Archie and Yoshi started fearing for their own lives. And Archie later said, this bitch is crazy.
You
got that right. They go and knock on the door. They say they were going to go and just scare them and let her think they were sticking to her plan, but they were not going to do it. I don't think so, as we'll learn in trial.
Yeah.
They go and knock on the door, and when Helen answers, again, they think it's Sonny. So again, they barge in, tie her up, unbeknownst to them. The intended target's in the bathroom on the phone with 911. God. Fucking idiots.
Yeah. The sloppiest plan. I can't.
Right. So what they were supposed to do, Gina told them to do this, was go and tie her up, get her under control, and then come get Gina, and she was going to shoot her. She wanted to be the one to kill her. So that's why they think Yoshi left. Yoshi left to go to the car and say, hey, coast is clear. You're on. Yeah. And when he was going to do that, the cops pulled up. So they jumped in the car and left after the cops were like, who the hell are y'all?
That makes sense.
Leaving Archie in the dust. Mm-hmm. A year after the attack in November 1997, Gina's trial starts. All three of their trial starts, but Gina's the focus.
Yeah.
She maintains her innocence the entire time, saying she had no intention of killing Sonny. She wanted to scare her just to get her stuff back. Sonny testifies on the first day and says she's been trying to forget about what happened for the past year. She's traumatized. She recounts all of it. She's well-spoken, articulate, composed. On day 2, however, all that changes.
Shut up.
Day 2, Sonny walked into the court late. She was in her nightgown. She couldn't walk and she could not talk. She only got there because someone from the DA's office went to get her because she no-showed her testimony that morning. They put her on the stand, and the judge reminds her that she's under oath and asks what's going on, what happened. Mm-hmm. She tells them in a very slurred voice. It's all on court TV, by the way.
God.
The audio is. I couldn't find the clip where I could actually see her, but I could hear the audio. you can barely understand her. She says the night before, she got in a fight with her boyfriend and he was being very rude. So they broke up. So she went to the drugstore and got 3 boxes of sleeping pills and took them
Oh,
all to end her
no.
life.
No.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
And then knowing she's allergic to beer, she washed it down with beer.
No.
The judge is like, okay, we're going to take a recess. And they
Yeah.
call an ambulance and rush her to the hospital.
Holy shit.
The most batshit court.
Yeah.
This trial is unbelievable. Meanwhile, other witnesses, so she's off at the hospital getting her stomach pumped.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, other witnesses testify about Gina's obsession with Sonny and her countless inquiries to have her killed. She asked a bunch of people she met in jail, people she met after she escaped at that sketchy ass place, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She had outbursts to people screaming about how much she wanted Sonny dead. And if they weren't going to do it, she'd do it. I mean, she looped a bunch of people in.
Right. Mm-hmm.
After a few days in the hospital, Sonny returns back to court. And the defense really uses that suicide attempt against her.
Oh.
They're like, wait, so she's incompetent to stand trial days ago, but now she's competent. This is the star witness. Like, she has her own shit going on. We can't trust her, you know. They even tried to subpoena her medical records, to which the judge said, nah, irrelevant. You're not entitled to those.
Uh-huh.
So she is allowed to testify, and the defense really lays into her, asking if the whole sleeping pill thing was just a theatrical move to stir up more media interest in the case, which, by the way, this is a media frenzy at this point.
Sure. Yeah.
She says, no, not at all. And honestly, she's not outraged enough by that allegation. She says, no.
Oh, God.
But the reason they asked that is because after Gina's arrest, when it started getting a ton of media attention, evil twin, good twin, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sonny hired herself an agent. She started making the rounds, doing interviews, being paid upwards of $10,000 from people like Geraldo, Lisa, Hard Copy. She was even shopping the case around for a movie. So the defense is like, but in your first testimony on day 1, you said you've been trying to forget about this whole traumatic event for the past year. And she's like, yeah. And they're like, you've been trying to forget about it while you're hiring an agent and shopping it around for the most money you can get?
Ooh. Not a good look. Can you wait until after the trial?
Well, I think a lot of people were approaching her. So she was like, well, let's bank on this. She says she went on those shows to clarify some of the misconceptions. And he reiterates, and to make money. That's why you have an agent, to make money. And she's like, yeah, I want to make money off of it. Why wouldn't I?
Okay.
It's very weird.
Yeah, weird, but not illegal. I beg. So I'm the victim. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
So back off.
I know.
Yeah, fine. Think it's weird all you want, but I mean, what's the argument? That she set this whole thing up?
That she's trying to drum up more media, trying to get a bidding war, like throwing weird shit into the trial to get more media attention.
Throwing bullshit, false information into the trial to get more?
False suicide attempts is what they're saying. Like, it's a PR stunt, essentially.
Okay.
Which I do not believe, by the way.
Yeah.
Then she's asked how she feels about her sister now. This is all in the same cross-examination. And now she starts singing a different tune. She comes fully to Gina's defense, saying Gina would never try to kill her. It's total nonsense. There's no motive. Now she's just doing anything she can to help her out of this situation. She is the prosecutor's star witness. They're like,
what?
Oh boy. She says a little bit of that.
Get this bitch off the stand now.
I think she says a little bit of that either to Geraldo or Lisa. She was so amped to see her sister.
Who the fuck is Lisa?
I know. Everyone. I know. I'm saying it as if she's a household name to me, but that's only because all the sources I read acted like she was a household name. I'm like, she must have been huge in '96. I don't know.
Okay.
But like Geraldo, I know, so she must not have been that big. Come on. Sorry, Lisa.
Geraldo's still around, I think. So.
Oh my God. Sorry, Lisa.
I just don't know who the hell you are. And Rach seemed to. So
I don't. Everyone else made it sound like she was a household name, so I'm going for it.
Okay.
So she did start kind of singing a different tune in those interviews too. Like, no, we are so close. Like, it's very confusing, but we'll get to a little bit of the psychology.
Are they in this together?
No.
Okay.
She at this point is sobbing on the stand. Gina is sobbing from the
table.
I was going to say audience, but that's not right.
No.
People are just mystified by this relationship. It is a shit show.
Uh-huh.
The two boys, and I say boys because they're boys,
Mm-hmm.
only 15 and 16 when they did this, also maintain their innocence, saying they were never going to kill her. They were just going to scare her. But prosecution's like, but the safety on the gun was off. And Sonny and Helen both testified that at no time during the invasion did they say, like, where's your sister's stuff?
Right.
Sonny and Helen were saying the whole time, take whatever you want. They didn't
Yeah.
touch Gina's stuff. They didn't get it. So they're like, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Your mission, you didn't even do it. And you were in there for several minutes. You had all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They were all found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, burglary, and false imprisonment. But for sentencing, Boo Kim also testified.
Oh my God, where the hell have you been?
Oh my God, type that out. Where the hell have you been? She testified on Gina's behalf, saying that she's a good girl and the maximum sentence of 25
What
years.
do you know?
I know. 25
outta
years to
here.
life was way too stiff. She had a lot of the Korean community support, like that this is too stiff, whatever.
Okay.
Gina was sentenced, didn't do any good because she was sentenced to 26 years to life for all counts. Archie got 18 years to life and Yoshi got 8 years.
Oh God.
While she was in prison, Gina finally accepted responsibility and admitted that, yes, she did want Sonny dead.
Okay.
She said she hated her and felt abandoned by her. I guess because Sonny went to college, like bought a BMW, seemingly had this great life while Gina was flailing. I mean,
if you just talked to your sister, you would know that Sonny also stole a friend's credit card and,
has her own stuff going on.
Yeah, has her own shit going on.
Yeah, but from the outside looking in, she thought she was living the life and she wanted to take it from her. Also, while in prison, she earned a college degree in engineering and she communicated with different men all over the world. A lot of them promised her a job when she got out and sent her money. One of them, from one dude in England, sent her $100,000.
No.
All three of them have been released. Gina got paroled in 2018 and reunited with her mom. Apparently, she moved to the San Francisco area and got a job. I don't know in what, but she has an engineering degree.
Whoa.
For the most part, Sonny's whereabouts are unknown. I know over the years she had more legal troubles. She was arrested for sex work at one point.
Oh.
She and Gina talked about reuniting after Gina got out of prison, but nobody knows if they did. There's rumors online that she's homeless, still living in Southern California. But when the author of this Medium article, Jana Meisenholder, reached out to the mom, Boo Kim, about where Sonny is, because no one really knows, Boo Kim responded, I think Sonny's dead.
Wait.
Boo Kim.
Boo Kim. I'm reeling over this. Hold on. That is what a
whirlwind.
A whirlwind.
Oh, I'm not done.
Okay. That just, the victim of this ended up a homeless, I mean,
isn't that sad?
And then the person who's in jail for attempted conspiracy to commit murder has an engineering degree living in San Francisco. I'm like baffled by this.
Who knows what she's doing?
I know.
But like San Francisco Bay Area, it said.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think she's,
I know. But wow.
Living in the Full House or anything. Whatever that
you couldn't think of a nice area of San Francisco. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I think that's one of them though. So a little psychology.
Please.
Okay, a lot of people think that their issues started with their separation from a young age, an abrupt reunion. It was just sprung on them like, oh, you have a sister. Oh, sorry, it's your carbon copy sister.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that even a short separation, one specified even being in different classes in school, can be traumatizing for twins, which I can attest to that. So imagine 3 years.
What are you talking about?
I'm like, don't do that.
It's
traumatizing to be in separate classes?
No, that's
it's
the right
necessary.
Thing to do. It's so necessary.
Can you imagine?
Oh, we've been hellions.
Oh my God.
No, you have to separate those identical twins. You need to let them socialize and be on their own.
Otherwise, they're going to be weird as shit and crazy as shit because now they're brave. They're in their new kindergarten class and they're twins next to them. You are fucked.
Yeah.
You know? So that I thought that was real interesting and I don't like that take. The
Me
twins
neither.
should be
I
pushed to an
disagree.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
situation every now and then, otherwise it'll be weird.
Yeah, they'll be codependent and
But
even
anyway,
more so than
even
okay.
more so than we probably already are. So they said this can be traumatizing, separation and then abrupt reunion. Imagine that doing
Mm,
this for 3 years, knowing that you were separated from your twin. This is a
yeah.
quote from the Median article. Twinning reaction, as described by psychologists, is the intense fusion of identities in twins, a complicated process that would be all the more complex after early separation and abrupt reunion. When stress and conflict surround identical twins, one twin feeling anger toward her sibling could end up hurting herself. The urges of violence directed towards oneself and those directed toward the sibling commingle. The phenomenon is a darker version of the lore that when one twin is in pain, the other one feels it. So this could be an explanation for the suicide attempt on day 2 of trial,
Oh, yeah,
too. She was
yeah.
so mad at her twin that she, like,
Uh-huh.
hurt herself.
Yeah, and just
It's
use the boyfriend as an excuse or probably
oh, man,
him
it may
dying.
have been both. By the time sentencing I will note too, by the time sentencing came around, like, Sonny could not leave her apartment. She was in a very deep
Oh,
depression, so
God.
much so that there's an organization called Twinless Twin or something
Uh-huh, I've seen that.
that's a support group for people who lost a twin or
Mhm.
separate whatever the separation may be, because it leads to really hard
Yeah,
depression
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
So that quote got me down another rabbit hole,
Sure.
and it is so fucked up, and oh, it's gonna
Oh,
make you so mad.
man. I was also gonna say, wasn't it Gina who was like Boo Kim kept Sunny
Yep.
in those first 3 years? I bet there is some embedded resentment with Gina being like,
Yeah.
"Why did she get to stay and I was booted
Well, a lot
for the
of the if
first 3
you
years of my life?"
yeah, exactly, and a lot of it, in my research shows that and especially in Korean culture, the oldest is more loved, pretty much,
Oh,
and Sunny was 5 minutes older.
wow.
But then there's, like, people on Reddit being like, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm Korean." Bullshit, like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
twins. It's not that whatever. So, who knows? But, that may have had something to do with it. She's like, "I'm gonna keep the firstborn."
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. So that twinning reaction led me down a dark path, and I'm
Hmm.
sure y'all have heard about this. There are a few documentaries out there. One
Uh-huh.
is called Twinning Reaction, another is called Three Identical Strangers. There's also a book called Identical Strangers. It's about a very controversial, fucked up study by the Louise Wise Adoption Agency in the 1960s,
Uh-huh.
where at least 10 sets of identical twins and one set of identical triplets were separated at birth and adopted by different families.
I was wondering if you're gonna bring this up.
Yup.
It's a fascinating and horrible.
It's horrible. The reason, so the study was to test nature versus nurture. So this adoption agency partnered with psychologists who would go in and check in on the families of the twins they separated. They would go in and check over the years with the ruse that they were doing routine studies on adoption and child development. But it was
Mhm.
actually this fucked up twin study that nobody signed up for. The adoptive parents did not know. They didn't even know that the kid they adopted was a twin.
Yeah.
The biological parents didn't know. The biological parents didn't even know that the twins were separated.
Yeah,
They
no.
thought all their babies went to the same place,
Yeah.
or both babies. In one case, all three of their babies went,
Right.
but no, they didn't know they were going to separate families. Nobody knew anything about this until 1980 when the set of triplets, the one set of identical triplets,
Mhm.
found out about each other. This is insane.
And at college, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of them,
It's insane.
Bobby,
Mhm.
Bobby started his first day of college in New York, doesn't know anyone. He's walking around and people are like, Eddie, hey,
Mhm.
Eddie, what's up? Oh my God, how you doing? And he's like, who the fuck's Eddie?
He gets goosebumps right now.
And
Yeah.
Eddie's friends were like, what? They literally take Bobby to a phone booth, call Eddie, and they're like, get your ass here.
Well, didn't they say like, "I'm glad to have you back, Eddie," because Eddie transferred or something?
No, he was enrolled there too. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know what the deal was.
Okay.
So Eddie comes, they
Mhm.
meet, they put it together. They realize they're long lost twin brothers who enrolled at the same small college in Sullivan County, New York.
Mhm. It's so batshit.
This was big news. So
Mhm.
media outlets covered their story as a human interest piece. Like, holy shit, these twins found each other. And a
Mhm.
guy named David Kellum, who was living in Queens, sees the picture and was like, they look like me.
Yeah.
Turns out they're not long-lost twins. They're long-lost triplets.
Oh.
The similarities between them are crazy considering they never knew each other until they were 19 years old.
Right.
Aside from looking identical, from the jump, they were finishing each other's sentences.
There's interviews of them, and that is hilarious.
Their story, when I read it, I don't think I'll get choked up when I say it.
I know.
But when I read, I was like shocked. So they from the jump, you would think they grew up together. They're finishing each other's sentences. They're like acting, cutting up. They all smoked Marlboro cigarettes. They all preferred older women. They all like Chinese food, things like that. Craziest of them all is that they all three were under psychiatric care when they were kids. I don't know what they all had a child psychologist.
I don't remember that.
Which is very interesting because some of the sources too, when I was getting into the psychology of it, said that like when twins are separated, a lot of the times, especially if they're identical, they feel something's off. Like something is messing with them.
This documentary is so interesting. I need everyone to watch it. It's infuriating, but it is interesting. You see the two identical, there's another set of identical twins, and they do the same thing. They finish each other's sentences. They ended up like marrying two women that look alike on the same day. They have the exact same kids, like a boy and a girl, the exact same age. They both teach their sons t-ball team.
The sons have the same t-ball number. The sons,
it's
they're
like
kids. They each have kids born in the same year.
Yeah,
it's crazy. They got married the same year. It's
something like that. I thought it was the same day, but it was
shit.
Like, wow, even separated, they are but their bond is very clear.
Yeah.
But and they said like it always felt like something was missing, like it was missing a part. Oh God, it
makes me sad.
Fucked up. And in that documentary, they confront one of the women who separated the twins, and she's so unapologetic.
What? I have a part that you are going to freak out about.
Oh, okay.
Everyone will, because it's infuriating. I actually was like, should I do a bonus episode on this? And I was like, I don't know if I could get through it without getting on the phone, calling whoever is still alive behind this and screaming at them like they are the pieces of shit they are. So it's crazy. A lot of these kids do have similarities. But in the triplets, so back to the triplets, at first they were amped. They capitalized on their new fame, really. I mean, as the story made the rounds, they opened a restaurant in Soho together, which was open for like 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
They had a cameo in the movie Desperately Seeking Susan, starring Madonna. They did talk shows. They were loving it. One of them said in the first year of them finding each other, they made over $1 million.
I'm sure.
As the details of the study came out, though, it got real dark.
Yeah.
Part of the study was to divide the siblings into very different families, particularly
You got it.
Specifically.
There you go.
Specifically in different socioeconomic status. So Bobby's parents were a doctor and a lawyer. Eddie's growing up was more modest. His parents were teachers. Maybe one of them was a teacher. David's parents were immigrants and very working class. When David found out that Bobby struck gold with the rich family, like there was jealousy.
Yeah.
Yet his own adopted parents were wonderful. So then he felt guilty for being jealous. It's just so fucked up.
Fucked up.
When the three adopted parents, when their three adopted parents found out about this, they were furious.
Yeah.
All three sets of parents called a meeting with the board of the adoption agency and laid into them.
Good.
A lot of yelling. David's dad in particular, the poorest of them all, was the one who screamed, "I would have taken all three."
Oh.
They were pissed.
Yeah.
The board defended it with a bunch of bullshit. I think one of them was, well, we did need the nature versus nurture study, but also not enough people wanted multiples. And they're like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, fuck off. Anyway.
Give them the option. You didn't even get the option.
Right.
You're assholes.
Right. When the meeting was over, after their ass chewing, Bobby's dad was getting in his car and realized he left his umbrella in the conference room. So he went back in, and the fucking executives were popping bottles of champagne. Celebrating that they dodged a bullet.
What?
I'm like, no, you didn't, because this is going to break all over, and your ethics and moral
corruption is going to be outed.
Your fucked up morality is about to be exposed for the piece of shit you are. It is crazy. They were literally popping a bottle of champagne when he walked
For
back
not
in.
getting, like, their ass kicked or what? What were they celebrating?
I
What
don't know. I
dodged
don't know
what
if they
bullet?
thought there was
Like, that was gonna be it?
legal ramifications that I don't know. I don't know what bullet they think they dodged, but
One adoptive parent is an attorney, so I'm like, I hope that he was like, "No, no, no. This is" I hope there is some legal action against them. I have no idea. I don't remember.
I know, I don't either, and I got into this part way too late in the game. Like, if we
Mhm,
had another day for
mhm.
me
I
to
know.
finish this, I would've, but I was like, we were coming up on the recording. I was like, "I've gotta stop, but I'm gonna freak the fuck out."
I cannot believe that.
When all this got out to the public, several other victims
Yeah.
of this study figured it out and found their long lost twins. Key people involved were exposed for being the unethical pieces of shit, as I already said, the
Mhm.
unethical pieces of shit that they were,
Yeah.
as I already said. As I mentioned, the triplets were really close for a while, but as they grew up and got married, the trio kind of grew apart, and the famous, you know,
Yeah. Kinda died
long lost
down.
triplets kind of broke up.
Yeah.
Having been separated, reunited, then separated again proved to be very difficult, especially on Eddie, who was later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And sadly, in 1995, he took his own life.
Yeah. I knew that, but,
And I don't think,
so
of
tragic.
all the people involved in this study, I don't think he was the only one. But
Yeah, I know.
again, that's a rabbit hole. I'm like, do I want to go down it, or am I going to blow my lid?
You're gonna blow your lid. What
I
is that?
know.
What's it called?
Twinning reaction, through identical strangers. There's a bunch out there.
No, the adoption agency.
Oh,
What?
Louise Wise.
Yeah, Louise Wise.
Several of the twins who figured this out, that they were part of this study that no one signed up for, did report that they had varying mental illness.
Uh,
It's disgusting. And here's what else is going to piss you off, and this is where I'll end it. The data for the study, so that it was so important for them to ruin lives so they could get this data.
Mhm.
It's been sealed at Yale University Archives, and it's not allowed to be unsealed until October 2065.
What the fuck? Who approved that?
Um, Lord knows. Only
We're
it's
unsealing documents left and right. Excuse me.
I know.
Let's sign an exec order.
They did say the twins themselves, if they figured it out that they're involved in the study,
Oh yeah, I
it's
remember
not
that.
everyone knows.
Yeah.
Hey, if you were adopted from Louise Wise and adoption agency in New York in the 60s, I'd look into it.
Mhm.
It says they can gain access to the data
Oh
if they
yeah.
want to, but it's a very hard process.
Yeah.
Right now, all the twins are adults. By 2065, a lot of them are not going to be around.
No.
It's insane.
I hope some of them are under that process, even though I'm sure it's
I'm like, okay, I was chosen for that stupid fucking study. I'm gonna expose it. What are you gonna do? Send me to
yeah,
jail? I don't give a
yeah,
shit.
right.
Um,
Be the most lenient jury.
I mean,
Like, okay,
please.
let's do it.
One of the researchers of the people behind it who are still alive, none of them will talk pretty much, except for one guy was on this, whatever, not board, but he was a researcher behind it too, for a couple months before he got very uncomfortable with it. Like, he knew it was unethical.
Yeah.
And he said the actual study itself was very sloppily done. Like, they should have had, to be a proper study, they should have had fraternal twins thrown in there for a
Yeah.
control group. So he's like, even with the results, which are now sealed because there's probably nothing in them,
Right.
because he said it was so sloppily done. What was all this for? They're not
Yeah.
going to have good data because they did it wrong. So he's like, they just messed up all these people's
Oh,
lives, and I guarantee that the results of that study are bullshit. I mean, there's nothing in
right,
there.
right.
For what?
Oh, God, that is infuriating. Oh, I remember that documentary, and I just remember but she's a real twat. Was
Uh-huh.
yeah, was very unapologetic. She was like, what do you," like, very taken aback almost that they were so affected by this. Bitch,
It's so sad.
it's so sad.
The triplets' aunt was interviewed and was like, because I think they were adopted and separated, again, unbeknownst to the biological family,
Mhm.
at 6 months old. So she was like, I can't. And after Eddie sadly died, she was like, there was like a sense of loneliness seeing like our triplets in a crib together, like smiling. And then after it was revealed that they were separated by different families, and seeing in the documentaries and stuff, them in their own separate little cribs, she was like, there's just such a loneliness. Like
So she has triplets herself?
No, that was their aunt. So she knew them when they were 6 months old, like the three of them together. So seeing them individually after the fact, like when they're in the documentary, there's like a picture of Eddie in the crib by himself to his adoptive parents. And she's like, there's just they're missing something.
Yeah.
She was like, I can feel the loneliness as the aunt.
Yeah, as a third person.
I can't imagine how they felt.
Right. Oh God, that
awful.
is infuriating. That is so sad.
Sealed till 2065, when the researchers are going to be long dead and not going to have to answer for
Why
shit.
did they do that? Like,
I'm telling you, I got in this rabbit hole far too late in the game.
I know.
I'm telling you, I was like, should I do a bonus episode on this? And then I was like, I really don't think I could.
Someone actually has suggested it before. So I was like, I've seen that documentary. It was years ago, but
unless there's vigilante justice where someone beats the shit out of every single researcher.
I don't know if I can do it.
I don't know if I can do it because it doesn't have a happy ending. As far as I can tell.
Wow.
So that's the story of Sonny and Gina Hahn.
And the sidebar.
And the very long sidebar about that horrible, monstrous study from the Louise Wise Agency, which just closed down in 2004.
I remember it closed down late in the game. I was like,
late in the game.
God.
For that bitch defending herself so much, it's crazy that how in 1980, when the triplets figured it out, all the study abruptly stopped. That's weird. But you stand behind it, bitch.
Right.
But I do think it relates to Sonny and Gina a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
They even unbeknownst to them, knew life without each other, even though they're only 3. I still think it had impact.
Yeah, for sure.
Reunited, and then know that for the first 3 years, I didn't even know you existed.
Yeah.
It was there's a lot of psychologists and the research of their bond was so intense, they couldn't live with each other or without each other. They would fight tooth and nail and then come to each other's defense. It's just crazy.
It's just batshit.
Anyway. Patrons: Katie, Claire, Sheila, Vanessa, Amber, Jocelyn, Jessica, Emily, Heather, Rebecca, Jasmine, Jessica, Caroline, Anita, Kathleen, Jill, Lauren, Leah, Madison, Lena, Becca, Lizzie, Ian, Amanda, Mia, Dawson, Allison, Jojo, Grayson. Stop.
Woo! Yes.
You're so nice.
You're so wonderful.
Thank you so much. Custom shout outs. I'm going to do 4.
Okay.
We have a lot to catch up on. Carly, first one's Carly. Shout out to Megan. She introduced me to PATW. Now I'm addicted. Also, shout out to my daughter, Bella, who's studying to be a homicide detective. Shut up.
Stop.
Oh my God, Bella. Tell us more. And my husband, Billy, who loves me on my worst days. We're all in this world together, people. Don't be the worst.
Y'all
preach, Carly.
Preach. And y'all aren't. Y'all don't sound like the worst.
Oh my God. Y'all sound, well, they're not the worst.
No.
Preach, girl. The second one's from Jamie. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in Rhode Island. I work with adults 18 and up and couples. I'm currently studying for my licensed independent clinical social work license, which is the highest license you can go for. So wish me luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
Oh my God. Good
luck. For you.
Good for you.
And
thanks. That's a tough line of work. Good for you. Go, Jamie. Next is from Caitlin. To all the women who are still figuring it out, it's okay to redefine your passion and purpose. I'm almost 39 and just started my new career in cybersecurity. We only have one go at life, and every passing moment is another chance to turn it around. Love y'all.
That is an amazing
I
reminder.
love that message.
Yes. I'm 38 and I quit I'm almost 38 and I too switched careers and couldn't be happier for it. So if I weren't so happy, I probably would have teared up at that.
Wow. That was good.
That was a good reminder for everyone.
Lastly, Jen, I love the podcast. I'm a former ICU nurse. Wow, we're getting some real badass bitches today.
I like this.
I'm a former ICU nurse and host of the podcast Empowered Ease. Each week I poke the patriarchy by empowering women to take back their health and well-being by interviewing inspiring women who have found their way to do just that.
There
Good
you
for
go.
you. Okay, wait. Okay, Empowered Ease. Y'all go listen.
Empowered ease?
Yeah, empowered
Okay.
is a word, and then EASE.
I got it.
Got it?
Got it. Ease is also a word.
Ease, like ease your mind.
I know. I get it. I just couldn't understand you.
Well, some people can't understand me anyway because we're from Alabama. So I have to, map it out for you.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Y'all are badasses.
I know.
Thank y'all so
Thank you so much.
Y'all are the best.
People are the worst.
Sure are.
Bye.
Bye.